On this day in history, November 12th, Plymouth achieved a historic milestone on November 10, 1439, when it became the first town to be incorporated by the English Parliament. This incorporation granted Plymouth special rights and privileges that would shape its development. The town's strategic location would later make it an important maritime center and the departure point for the Mayflower's famous voyage to America. Pudge Heffelfinger made sports history on November 10, 1892, when he became the first documented professional football player in America. He was paid $500 by the Allegheny Athletic Association to play in a game against the Pittsburgh Athletic Club. This payment established a precedent that would eventually lead to the development of professional football in the United States. Leon Trotsky was expelled from the Soviet Communist Party on November 10, 1927, marking a crucial turning point in Soviet politics. This expulsion effectively ended the power struggle between Trotsky and Stalin for control of the Soviet Union. Stalin's victory in this political battle would shape the course of Soviet history for decades to come. Nazi Germany implemented the devastating decree on the elimination of Jews from economic life on November 10, 1938, which completely banned Jews from participating in German economic activities. This decree prohibited Jews from selling goods, providing services, or working in trades. The legislation represented another cruel step in the Nazi regime's systematic persecution of Jewish citizens. Soviet forces launched their first ski troops against German forces near Moscow on November 10, 1941, as temperatures plummeted to -12 degrees Celsius. These specialized units were particularly effective in the harsh winter conditions that were proving devastating to the German army. The deployment of ski troops represented an innovative tactical response to the challenging winter warfare conditions. The Naval Battle of Guadalcanal began on November 10, 1942, marking the start of a crucial three-day engagement between Japanese and American naval forces. The battle would prove to be one of the most decisive naval confrontations of the Pacific War. The American victory helped secure control of Guadalcanal and marked a turning point in the Pacific theater. The Royal Air Force executed a decisive operation on November 10, 1944, launching 29 Avro Lancaster bombers that successfully sank the German battleship Tirpitz. The bombers used specialized 12,000-pound tallboy bombs to target the ship off the coast of Tromsø, Norway. This mission marked the end of a long campaign to neutralize one of Nazi Germany's most powerful naval threats. Ellis Island, America's iconic immigration station, ceased operations on November 10, 1954, after processing more than 12 million immigrants over its 62-year history. The closure marked the end of an era in American immigration history. The island would later be transformed into a museum celebrating America's immigrant heritage. Israeli Defense Force soldiers killed Palestinian refugees in Rafah on November 10, 1956, during the invasion of the Gaza Strip amid the Suez Crisis. The incident occurred during a period of intense regional conflict and tension. This tragic event became one of many controversial episodes during the broader Suez Crisis. Warren Harding and his team of rock climbers completed the first ascent of the nose on El Capitan on November 10, 1958, after 47 days of climbing. This achievement marked a watershed moment in rock climbing history. The successful ascent of the 3,000-foot vertical rock face in Yosemite Valley set new standards for big wall climbing. 11-year-old Terry Jo Duperrault survived a horrific series of murders aboard the Ketch Bluebell on November 10, 1961. She managed to survive for 4 days on a small float before being rescued. Her incredible story of survival became one of the most memorable maritime incidents of the era. Investigative journalist Seymour Hersh exposed the My Lai Massacre on November 10, 1969, revealing one of the darkest chapters of the Vietnam War. His reporting detailed how U.S. Army soldiers had killed hundreds of unarmed Vietnamese civilians in the village of My Lai. The story sparked international outrage and contributed to changing public opinion about the Vietnam War. The Oregon Highway Division attempted an unusual operation on November 10, 1970, trying to dispose of a decomposing beached sperm whale using dynamite. The explosion scattered large pieces of blubber across the beach and nearby areas, including damaging some parked cars. This incident became known as the exploding whale and has since become an infamous example of well-intentioned plans gone wrong. The catastrophic Bola cyclone made landfall in East Pakistan, now Bangladesh, on November 10, 1970, becoming history's deadliest tropical cyclone. The storm surge and flooding devastated coastal regions and offshore islands. The cyclone claimed an estimated 300,000 to 500,000 lives and had significant political ramifications for the region. France conducted its Orest nuclear test on November 10, 1977, as part of its 1975-78 nuclear testing series. This test was the 14th in a group of 29 French nuclear experiments. The test was part of France's ongoing nuclear weapons development program. President Jimmy Carter took decisive action on November 10, 1979, ordering a complete halt to U.S. petroleum imports from Iran. This decision came as a direct response to the ongoing hostage crisis at the U.S. Embassy in Tehran. The move represented a significant escalation in America's response to the Iranian hostage situation. NASA's Voyager I space probe reached a milestone on November 10, 1980, making its closest approach to Saturn and capturing unprecedented images of the planet's rings. The photographs provided scientists with detailed views of Saturn's complex ring system. This encounter marked a significant achievement in planetary exploration and our understanding of the solar system. The Space Shuttle Columbia made history on November 10, 1981, during mission STS-2, becoming the first crewed spacecraft to be launched into space twice. This achievement demonstrated the revolutionary reusability of the Space Shuttle system. The successful mission marked a significant milestone in space exploration technology. Tim Berners-Lee published his formal proposal for the World Wide Web on November 10, 1990, laying the foundation for the modern Internet. The proposal outlined the basic concepts of HTML, URLs, and HTTP that would become fundamental to the web. This document would prove to be one of the most significant publications in the history of computing. A devastating mid-air collision occurred near New Delhi on November 10, 1996, when a Saudi Arabian Airlines Boeing 747 collided with a Kazakh Ilyushin IL-76 cargo plane. The crash resulted in 349 fatalities, making it the deadliest mid-air collision in aviation history. This tragic accident led to significant changes in air traffic control procedures in the region. Ramzi Yousef was convicted on November 10, 1997, for masterminding the 1993 World Trade Center bombing. His conviction marked a significant victory in the fight against international terrorism. The verdict brought some closure to one of the most significant terrorist attacks on American soil prior to 9/11. Taliban forces evacuated Kabul on November 10, 2001, as Afghan Northern Alliance troops advanced on the capital. This retreat marked a crucial turning point in the war in Afghanistan. The Taliban's departure from Kabul significantly altered the political landscape of Afghanistan. The Shanghai Transrapid set a remarkable world speed record on November 10, 2003, reaching 501 kilometers per hour, 311 miles per hour, for commercial railway systems. This achievement demonstrated the potential of magnetic levitation technology in commercial transportation. The record still stands as the fastest speed achieved by unmodified commercial rail vehicles. Italian Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi submitted his resignation on November 10, 2011, amid the growing European sovereign debt crisis. His resignation would become effective on November 16, marking the end of his controversial tenure. The decision came after mounting pressure due to Italy's economic challenges. The Philae lander made history on November 10, 2014, becoming the first spacecraft to land on a comet. Deployed from the European Space Agency's Rosetta probe, it successfully reached the surface of comet 67P Churyumov-Gerasimenko. This achievement marked a significant milestone in space exploration and our understanding of comets. The Los Angeles Superior Court made a landmark decision on November 10, 2021, formally ending the 14-year conservatorship of pop singer Britney Spears. This ruling restored Spears' personal and financial autonomy after years of legal control by her father. The case sparked widespread discussion about conservatorship laws and garnered significant public attention through the #FreeBritney movement. Thank you most sincerely for your time and attention. If you found this presentation enlightening, I encourage you to share it with others, express your appreciation with a like, and consider subscribing for future content. I look forward to your company in the next installment.